one day, I am advocating that I now must give this brother a platform to share with you the battles that he has had with the state, who through their negligence or otherwise, he lost his son a year and a half, 15 months old. And that was 20 years ago. Yes, 20 years ago, brothers and sisters. And he's still in a battle with the state and has been brutalized and abused by the state. And we did not have a nation to stand up with and for this brother. We did not have a nation to restore dignity. We did not have a nation to demand justice and truth for the death of his son. But he's still standing up. And we must rise behind him. I can't hear you. And one day, we're going to hear from you, Brother Colbrand. Can we hear them, please? So he's here with us, let's do it, please.
Let me say one final thing, just in case I don't get an opportunity. We have enough live ongoing battles. Paul Grant has one of those ongoing battles. But tomorrow morning, in the Royal Court of Justice,
that's right,
the 7th person falsely to be charged with the murder of Keith Blakelock is on trial.
Nikki.
Yeah? Oh, is that, thanks, is that the Old Bailey?
Nikki Jacobs.
And we need to be there, as many of us as possible, supporting that brother. 10 o'clock, Old Bailey tomorrow morning.
And we will be there, brothers and sisters. I will be there.
Don't forget.
Elder Cecil will be there. And we hope you will make it there as well, brother. But we'll make more announcements in the convention. Now, whatever we do, we must do it in an organized manner. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. And so we have stewards who are, as you can see, in the luminous jackets. And the head of the stewards team is our beloved brother, who is also a vice chair of the interim National African People's Parliament, Brother Kojo. I'm going to ask Brother Kojo now to come forward and explain to us how we're going to move.
Greetings, family. Greetings. All right, we're going to hit the road now, but ideally, for our ease of movement, again, ask that when we start the procession, we start with 3 people shoulder to shoulder with each other, following up behind each other. The police will be with us, but the greater protection of the movement is ourselves. So we can organize and do it right and follow the instructions of our brothers and sisters who have taken the responsibility for us today. So we finish right as now.
Yes.
Right. So we're gonna face this way. The police them away.
Right. So the police will look after the state.
And we are take care
of take care of our business.
All right.
and self-determining people. Our mission is nation building. Yes. Bristol, are you here? Birmingham, are you here? Manchester, are you here? All right, okay, like Bristol have it, you know. London, are you here? What about Oxford? Oxford reach yet? All right, that's Buckinghamshire. Buckinghamshire, are you here? All right, Tendai Mwari. Brothers and sisters, this is the most sacred part of what we observe today, March the 2nd, the Black People's Day of Action. There is a statement to be read, and we wanted a young person to read that statement on these steps today. The young person we had lined up is not here. So I would like to ask a young person with a strong voice, someone who is confident, with a strong voice, confident reader. All right, it's a big reader. We can manage anything we can use to elevate our young prince. You stand behind him. Oh, yeah, we have to stand behind him. Yeah, all right? Stand behind him. Turn face together. Stand behind him. Nice and loud.
Introduce him, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Look at this young prince now, brothers and sisters.
Yes.
I ask us all now to give him our ears and our hearts. I know you'll do that. I want you to know that one of the reasons why we're doing this, listen good. In 2011, we gathered in this space 300 strong. 300 African people gathered in this space under the inspiration and leadership of Brother Jack Bueller from Nubian Jack, who laid this plaque in remembrance of the 14 who died. As we stood here and as the ceremony ended, young people were coming home from school and college, wanted to know why we were standing here. As we told them, they who lived in New Cross, some who lived on New Cross Road, did not know anything about the New Cross massacre. Can you believe it? If this was any other community, we would own this building now. Are you with me?
Yes.
And this would be a sacred cultural site, a national treasure. So we have to put that right. We must own this building one day and stamp our mark on it. Right or wrong? Right. All right. So now we're going to hear from the young.
Don't be afraid to shout now, right? Strong voice. You're a leader now.
So I've just told him not to be shy. Strong voice, you're a leader now. You are in front of the people. I want you to give him some energy. Hey, guess what him name? Guess what him name? Heru! Come on! 10 years old! 10 years old!
here today at 439 New Cross, Fort Road, London, SE14 6LU, to commemorate the lives and the tragic death of the 14 young people who perished in what has become known to some as the New Cross Fire.
Okay, can everybody hear?
To others at New Cross, massacre, NCM, either way, let it be known that this is the worst tragedy to afflict the African community in Britain since Windrush 1948, and it is therefore one of the most important historical events of the African black presence in Britain. On the evening of 17th January into the early hours of 18th January 1981, the 16th birthday party of John Rudolph and Angela Jackson was in full swing. By all accounts, it was packed, but peacefully. Well-spirited event, with young people from all over London and even outside of London just having a good time. At around 5:30 AM, a fire broke out and spread rapidly throughout the house, causing pandemonium and scores of people, predominantly young teenagers, tried to escape, some by running through the fire, others by jumping from the front windows of the upper floors. Consequently, 13 young people aged 15 to 22-year-olds died and 27 others were seriously injured. It is right, therefore, that we should at this time remember the fatal victims by calling their names loudly and strong. They are Andrew Goodin at 18, Owen Thompson, 60, Patricia Johnson, 50, Patrick Cummins, 60, Steve Collins, 70, Lloyd Hall, 20, Humphrey Goodbrown, 18, Rosalind Henry, 60, Peter Campbell, 18, Jerry Paul Francis, 70, Clinton Powell, 50, Paul Rudolph, 22, Bjorn Rudolph, 60. At 14th young victim died 2 years later, 9th July 1983, after jumping to his death from a high-rise housing estate. This was due to the severe mental illness he had suffered because of the post-traumatic effect of the fire. His name was Anthony Burbeck at 20 years old.
Well done.
It is noted that among the survivors and their families, there are now different views as to whether the fire was racially motivated or not. However, at this time, there was a shared unanimous conviction that was a racist firebomb attack. Indeed, there were early reports that a white man was seen throwing an object towards the front window.
All right.
Yes.
Come on,
You're doing great.
We fight back.
And that,
Racist attack. We fight back.
and that the
We
police
fight back.
had found an incendiary device in front of lawn of the property. Moreover, this by far would not have been the first racially motivated attack in the area.
That's right.
In fact, the London borough of Lewisham was a notorious hotbed of National Front and other fascist activities, including violent assault against persons and properties, including arson attacks on homes, nightclubs, community centres and businesses. It was therefore, as perceived at the time, the most devastating. In 1977, the Moonshot Club, where we commenced this commemorative procession today, which was then the site of a black youth and community centre, was firebombed. That same year, Lewisham was also witnessed street battles between the National Front and many African youths, which evolved into a fierce battle with the police, who contemporarily, witnesses say, were patiently defended the fascists rioters,
Yeah.
seeking to restore law and order. However, notwithstanding opposing views of the cause of the fire, there is total agreement with regard to this brutal and racist conduct of the police. We will address this in more details outside Lewisham Police Station, but suffice to say that they had almost instantly demonstrated a lack of commitment to investigating the incident and getting to the bottom of the matter. Instead, they adopted a modus operandi, which to get to the bottom of the matter. Instead, they adopted a modus operandi which smacked of perjury and intent to pervert the cause of injustice. A matter which we condemn is deserving of an independent public inquiry. The Stefan Lawrence case is instructive here. Also, from the outset, the response of the state as a whole to this human catastrophe, as in the case of Stefan Lawrence, was callous inhumane, to say the very least. It was normal protocol in the circumstances that the British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, and monarch Queen Elizabeth II would acknowledge such suffering and send messages to condolence. This was not done. Instead, there was complete reticence. This also included the local authority in response to which well-known slogan was created: 13 dead and nothing said. That was 14 not appropriately reindicated. 14 said and nothing said. 14 dead and nothing said. To compound the injustice, the media of propaganda machine of the state was officious as it was racist. In it reported with no regard for the truth of empathy for the human suffering of African black people. A month later, when a fire in Ireland killed a number of people, the usual humanitarian protocols kicked in with letters being promptly dispatched from Downing Street and Buckingham Palace, as well as statements made in the House of Commons.
Alright?
These factors, along with a catalogue of irregularities in respect of the coroner's inquest some 3 months later, not only conspired to deny justice to the victims and their families, it served to exacerbate the pains of their bereavement and human suffering, compounded by the fact that 33 years on, we still do not know that what happened there on the fateful night. This, of course, makes it impossible for the surviving victims and their families, as well as the African community as a whole, to have closure to this devastation.
Come on.
It is in order, therefore, that we should pause here for a moment to remember at this time all of the families who lost their loved ones in this place in 1981, 33 years ago. Pause for 30 seconds.
Alright, we're just pausing, brothers and sisters, for 30 seconds.
The surviving victims and families of the NCM to know what we continue to have to you in our thoughts and prayers, especially at this time of reflection and commemoration. We also remember the great acts of bravery that occurred in this place on that same night and pay tribute, especially to the young persons who tried to save and protect others. So, amazingly, running back into the fire, having escaped initially, Paul Rudder, the brother of Yvonne Rudder, was one amongst many and became the second child of Miss Rudder to have lost his life, leaving behind a pregnant girlfriend. We declare that insofar that as the British state actively refused to acknowledge the tragic, possibly death, at the 13 African youths at time and the suffering of their families and the community, this was a clear statement of denial of African humanity. In other words, the British state was saying to us that as African people, you are not human beings, and therefore you are not worthy of a humane response and human treatment. Insofar as there has been no independent public inquiry into the potentially unlawful misconduct of the police, resulting in their failure to properly investigate this incident, and despite repeated calls over the past 3 decades for such an inquiry, the state continues to say that to Africans in Britain, you are not human beings, and therefore not worthy of a humane response to human treatment. Therefore, as we gather in this remembrance of those who lost their lives in the place, in the young and tender years, we do so also a statement of validation and affirmation of the humanity of the 14 young fatal victims, the New Cross massacre, the surviving victims and their families, and in broader sense, the humanity of all African people.
That's
right.
Yes.
We declare, as we stand here today, that we will not allow the state to have the last word on this human tragedy and the repeated denial of justice to African people in the aftermath. We declare, as we stand here today, that the reaction of the British state to the human tragedy of the New Cross massacre was further violation of our human rights, African human rights, to be exact. We declare, as we stand here today, that the blood of these 14 young people who died unarmed as a result of that fatal night will not be shed in vain, but in will, in the words of Kwame Ture, water the soil of a cultural renaissance as the nucleus of a liberation movement that will restore human rights and justice for our people and the right to determine our own destiny again. We will now pour libation to the spirits of our young people. Tendai Maru.
So can we hail Prince Heru? I'm giving him the statement, brothers and sisters, to keep. All right? And to pass on the knowledge to his peers. All right? Because this is one for the future. Watch it. You hear how the youth read? You hear the conviction? 10 years old. 10 years old, not years old, not years old. All right. Get him. All right. We're going to need another young person to read a statement when we get to Lewisham Police Station. Preferably a young princess. Preferably. But, oh, okay, I hear the reader might be here at Lewisham, might be at Lewisham. So if the reader, the pre-arranged reader, does not arrive, we want a young person to read, preferably a young queen or a young princess, okay? But if not, we will accept another young prince, okay? Yeah. Have you agreement? Yeah. All right. So we call, hold up the placard. Hold them up, hold them up, hold them up. We call Peter Campbell. Oh yeah, yeah. After each one, everyone please shout Uyai, which means come forth. Okay, we start with Andrew Gooding. Uyai. 20. Rustin Henry. Age 16. Paul Ruddock. Age 22. Denton Powell. Age 15. Patricia Johnson. Age 15. Steve Collins. Age 17. Yvonne Ruddock. Age 16. Remembering two children of the Ruddock family who died as a result of this fire, and the Ruddock family lost their home. Their home, brothers and sisters. We must remember this. Jerry Francis. Humphrey Brown. Age 18. Jerry Francis, age 17. I think we called Patrick Cummins already. Lloyd Hall. Age 20. Owen Thompson. Age Owen Thompson. Age 16. I'm sure. You do Jefferson Richards. No. Patrick Cummins, he was here. Any more? I think that's it. Brothers and sisters, can we raise our voices and make an almighty noise for the spirits of the 14 martyrs of the New Cross Massacre? Hear them! Brothers and sisters, Salamo. Can't hear you. Salamo. Which is the official greeting of the International African People's Parliament. And Ketika Uduma is how we seal our communication, meaning in service. I'd like to emphasize in divine service.
Yes.
Because we are a spiritual people.
Yes.
Tenaimware. Amandla. Maibuye.
Africa.
Africa.
Maibuye.
Amandla. Babylon. And then don't understand what we are saying. We're going to get one interpreter now for work out what we are saying. But we have to work out what language we have chat first. I will never tell them. Them head giddy now, them head a spin. But brothers and sisters, well, according to the clock, I can't hear me good. According to the clock, we're running 1 hour late. According to the spirit, we're on time. But circumstances alter cases. In Jamaica, And I'm sure in other parts of the Caribbean would say, circumstances alter cases, poor man wear banana braces. So banana braces we are wearing today. So we have to move quickly so that the braces don't fall apart and shame we. Because banana braces don't hold up for long. Alright, that's what that means. So brothers and sisters, this is the third of 3 historical sites for the National Black People's Day of Action. March the 2nd,
Black People's Day of Action.
Black People's Day of Action.
Name it and claim it.
What's our mission?
Nation building.
What's our motto? Commemorate, evaluate, organize to liberate. Let's do it once because of time. Circumstances alter cases. Poor man wear banana braces. So before the banana braces come apart, we're going to move quickly to our third statement. Statement 3 for the National Black People's Day of Action. And we must make sure, beloved brothers and sisters, that next year there is at least 2 times the amount. At least on the march. We know that the convention hall will be packed this afternoon. But we want to pack the street of Babylon. Yes. We want to stop traffic in Babylon. Yes. We want to do that as well. Yes. And next year, the 17th of January will be on a Saturday, which means it will fall on the date and the day of the New Cross Massacre. Are you all with me? That is important, which means that March the 2nd will be on a Monday, as was the original Black People's Day of Action. We have to do something special next year. Do you agree with me? Something special. But without further ado, 2 young people from the organization Black Unity will be reading statement 3. They're coming all the way from Birmingham. Just before I hand over to them, can I ask all the vice chairs to come up so the people can see who the leadership of the International African People's Parliament are. Sister Asha, Sister Jandai, Elder Cecil, and Brother Kocho. Can you come up? Come up to the front, please. Elder Cecil, can you come to the front, please? So the people can see who you are. Can we hear them? You there? And finally, brothers and sisters, remember that we don't only commemorate the 14 victims, martyred victims of the New Cross Massacre on this day. We also commemorate all of our people who have died at the vicious hand of the white supremacist state of Britain, whether directly or indirectly, whether killed by the hands of the police or by white fascists, if there is a difference. So brothers and sisters, we want to remember Mark Duggan. Mark Duggan, in our view and according to the laws of my act, was unlawfully killed by British police. Hazel Rodney was unlawfully killed, as has been upheld in their court. But whether so or not, we know that he was unlawfully killed. Stephen Lawrence. We will mention him in the statement. I'll say no more. He will be mentioned in the statement. Brothers and sisters, we're going to hand over to our young brother and young sister. They will say their names and we're going to move quickly into the statement. Please come and take the center.
In remembrance of the role of the Lewisham Police Station in determining the 33 years on from the New Cross massacre, we still do not know exactly how the fire started at 439 New Cross Road on the morning of 18th of January 1981. Who started it and why? The police, as the arm of the state responsible for investigating the incident, did not do their job.
Yeah,
In fact, it became clear to the survivors, their families and observers at the time, they had no real interest or commitment to investigate or ascertain the truth. Against the backdrop of a history of rampant racial violence, including arson in Lewisham, it was perfectly understandable that there was widespread suspicion that this was a racist firebomb attack. Yet despite early reports that a white man was seen throwing an object towards the front window, and that the police found an incendiary device on the front lawn in the house, the police were reporting without any substantive investigation that there was no evidence of an arson and the fire was likely to be an accident. Furthermore, surviving victims and their families were retrieving vitriolic racist letters that jeered and taunted them, suggesting that more should have died. On one occasion, Mr. and Mrs. Gooding, parents of the fatal victim Andrew Gooding, 18 at the time, reported they had received a letter through their door that said, and hear this, "Hey Gooding, it was a great day when all the niggers went up in smoke." Nonetheless, the police ignored all of this.
Brothers and sisters who are talking on the periphery, can we ask you not to talk? It's very disconcerting. Can we just listen to the statement, please? We're dissipating the energy when we do that. Can we be at one, please?
Nonetheless, the police ignored all of this and soon began reporting a completely false and unfounded claim that the fire had been triggered by a fight which started in the party. A fight. See how they treat black people then?
Yeah.
Not only did this claim come from not come from any witness, it later transpired it was falsely concocted version of events invented by the dirty police themselves. Furthermore, not only did the police make it up, it came to light that during the coroner's inquest, via witness accounts, the witnesses as young as 11 years old were brutally coerced into making or signing these false statements. Robert Mackenzie attests that the police interrogated him like he was a criminal, the badly injured surviving victim who was still suffering from the trauma of the event. Almost lost his life, and his experience at the hands of the police was more terrifying than escaping from the blazing inferno. He recalled, "They gave me no respect, and I felt like I had been arrested. They didn't want to listen to the truth. They refused to listen to me when I told them there wasn't a fight, but they had their version of events, and I thought I had to go along with them. In the end, I caved in and told them what I thought they wanted."
Come on.
Denise Gooding, another survivor and sister of the aforementioned Andrew Gooding, only 11 years old at the time, was one of the victims who attested that the police forced her to sign a fictitious statement. According to her father, who was with her at the station, the police just pressed her. "Don't tell no lies. Just tell us there was fighting in the house." Denise herself recalls, "They were sort of shouting at me and telling me that if I didn't tell the truth, they'd put me in a cell. I was trying to explain this and that and all that, and that's all I know. But they were saying, 'Didn't you see the fight?' You did see a fight." Basically, it's like I was giving them the statement, but they were totally twisting it. And whatever I said, it didn't matter. There were times when I did feel, hold on, I'm the victim here. Yeah, I was feeling like a suspect. Look at the police treat people, and it's no different today. Such reported behavior on the part of the police does not constitute gross professional misconduct, conduct, but is tantamount to perverting the course of social justice, which is a criminal act. That's right. Nothing changed at all, my sister. Notwithstanding this, not one single police officer has been brought to justice today, and calls for a public inquiry have been on empty ears. All this gives rise to some serious questions that need to be answered 33 years later. One, why did Lewisham police refuse to properly investigate the incident at the time?
Why?
Why?
I'm a racist.
Two,
It's worse than that.
worse than that. Why did they invent a completely false account of what happened?
Why?
Right. Yeah.
Three, why did Lewisham police coerce and cajole young people, 11 years old, into giving false statements?
Why?
Why was Lewisham police trying to suppress the truth?
Why?
What were they trying to cover up?
Why? Read that one there again.
What were they trying to cover up? Number 6, who were they trying to protect?
Themselves.
Right.
White society.
And the last question we need to answer is, did Lewisham police in fact know what really happened and who started that fire at 439 New Cross Road of the morning of 18th of January 1981?
Such unanswered questions have engendered deep suspicion about the role of the police. Notably, according to reports, there are a number of noise complaints from neighbours about the party, and the police had visited the premises in response, and it was evidently monitoring it. When the dubious role of the police and the disinterest of the state became clear, the New Cross Massacre Action Committee was promptly formed by community activists to mobilise and campaign to expose the actions of the police and the state and to get to the bottom of the matter. The NCMAC formed a fact-finding commission which launched an independent investigation. This unearthed vital information that was handed to the police, but which they did not pursue. This included evidence of a white woman coming to the party about 5 a.m. with 2 suitcases asking to use the toilet, but she only left with 1 suitcase. This was a vital leading piece of information which the police should have followed up, but they didn't. The coroner's inquest also raised serious questions. Firstly, it was convened with indecent haste just 3 months after the incident. This in itself was deemed a travesty of justice, as the police had not concluded their investigation. Helen Shaw from the pressure group inquest was expressly shocked by the speed of the events. She said, if the police were investigating a controversial serious case like this, it should have taken up to 2 years or even longer before an inquest was called. To me, she says, it seems as though the authorities just wanted to hurry things up so the whole issue could be shut away and forgotten about. But we will never forget. Reportedly, crucial evidence was suppressed by the coroner, Dr. Arthur Gordon Davis, whose summary was heavily directed towards the fire being accidental. The jury then returned an open verdict. The victims' families were expressly appalled and challenged the procedure. Although the High Court accepted that the summing up was inaccurate, it refused to overturn the verdict.
Oh. You hear that, brothers and sisters?
They refused to overturn the verdict.
Yeah, that's right.
George Francis, father of Jerry Paul Francis, who was 17 at the time, said it was a farce.
Yeah.
I personally would have used different words, but we'll say farce. Helen Shaw also asserted everything that could go wrong for the families in the criminal justice system went wrong for these families. Coroner Davis, considered the most experienced coroner in the country at the time, is reported to have given the following rationale for his actions. It was a very volatile, highly charged event.
Listen.
My concern was to stop blood on the streets. We'd had one riot already. I wanted to do everything possible to prevent another one. This admission of a premeditated agenda, other than making findings of facts based on the evidence, presented a virtual confession of having perverted the course of justice.
Sure. Fair enough. That's the judge.
Yet, Dr. Davis was never brought before a court of law to answer to criminal charges.
Yeah.
This is another clear ground for public inquiry.
Yeah.
Not surprisingly, the second inquest held in 2004, which produced another open verdict for eliminated racial motivated arson, was largely and equally regarded to be a farce.
Yeah.
To keep it clear. This travesty of justice has denied the bereaved, the survivors, and the African community as a whole justice and closure.
Yeah.
As Brother George Francis lamented at the 30th anniversary memorial of the New Cross Massacre,